Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome everyone. Hope you're having a good time with your family and friends and liking these sessions. In today's video, I'm here to discuss mirroring feature within Microsoft Fabric and how it can be beneficial for you. Before I proceed, if you're getting value from these sessions, consider subscribing to the channel and share this content. Let's try to understand this with a typical example. Let's say there is a company called ITS with head office in Mumbai. They have also various satellite locations distributed across the globe in New York, Toronto, and Sydney. All these different locations, along with their head offices, generating data. In order to utilize the data for your advantage for creating reports and for your analytics you need to create data pipelines. Now, this include extraction of the data, then you need to clean it or transform it, and then finally you need to upload this in a central repository. Once the data is uploaded, you also need to give access to various folks in your organization, whether they are part of the data engineering team, data analytics, or any other team which need access to this data so that they can make business sense of this. What about if I tell you there is a better way of doing this? That's where mirroring in Microsoft Fabric will come into play. With mirroring, you can create replication of data in almost real time. So in step number one, we're going to replicate the data. Data is also converted or transformed into delta Parquet format. And I'll explain you what does that mean, right? And this can be done by without creating any complicated pipelines. So let's say that there's a Azure SQL database, right? It has a SQL table. It has a couple of columns and rows. It has customer ID, name, and country. Now, in first step, as I mentioned, that what we're going to do is we're going to start replicating your data. And once the data is replicated, we also convert this into Delta Parquet format. Now, this is an analytics ready format and integrates well with the visualization reporting tools such as Power BI. And in Delta Parquet format, the data is stored in column storage format. So your data will look like something like this once it is replicated, like column, then you have another column in which you have the name, and then the third column in which you have the country. Now, what is the advantage of this? Why it is stored in this kind of format, right? So the advantage of this is that it's much more faster to query. It make use of efficient use of storage. And then finally, as I said, that it also integrates with tools such as Power BI for creating reports and for visualization processes. So that's the whole idea. And all this thing is done automatically when you enable mirroring. And actually, I'm going to show you in a moment. Now, along with this, it also create two more objects. It's create SQL Analytics endpoint and default semantic model. Now, what is SQL Analytics endpoint? This is a read-only SQL interface which allows you to use transaction SQL commands to query the data, right? And I'm going to show you in a moment on the Fabric side. And then you have the default semantic model. Now, this reflects the structure of the data which has been replicated. So this can be your like table, column, and the relationship. And as I said, you don't have to do anything in the background. This is all done simultaneously when you enable mirroring within Microsoft Fabric. Now, there are also different kinds of mirroring too. Actually, there are three kinds of mirroring. You have open mirroring. Some of them they're also in I think in preview that you can check. But any kind of databases can be mirrored. You have database mirroring, which is commonly used now, and then you have metadata mirroring. Now, in database mirroring, we are going to replicate your entire database and table into a central repository, which is one lake. In metadata mirroring, we are not replicating or moving the data physically. The data still remains in the source location, but we use something what you call shortcuts. And then open mirroring, which can be you can have a full video on that. That's also another option. Basically, it allows you to bring data from any kind of format that you might be having. But these are the three options available when it comes to mirroring of data. But again, some of them they are in preview. I would recommend to see or check on the Microsoft website. But this is the process which looks like when it comes to mirroring within Microsoft Fabric. And within few clicks, you're able to bring the data into One Lake, which is your central repository. One Lake, which is built on Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, and also enable hierarchical namespaces too. Now, other question might come that how much does this all cost, right? Because the data still need to reside in a some sort of repository, which is One Lake. So from the pricing, as you know, uh, for Fabric comes in different FSQ. You have F2, you have F4. You can go up depending on how much compute you want, right? F16, F64. Now, when you enable mirroring, you get free storage based on the SKU you're utilizing. So let's say if I'm utilizing F2, I get 2 terabyte of mirrored storage free along with this SKU, right? Same way for F4, I get up to 4 terabyte, F16, 16, and F64, 64 terabyte. Now, if I go more than that, right? Let's say if I'm storing 2.1 terabyte, I have F2 SKU, then I'm going to pay for 100 gig based on the cost for the One Lake, right? And you can check that onto the pricing calculator. Same way on any of them. But the good thing is that once the data is mirrored by utilizing the mirroring feature, you get this much storage capacity included in your SKU, and you don't need to pay, and that's going to save a significant amount of cost. And on top of that, the compute capacity that you're going to utilize in order to mirror the data from the source location, that is also included. You're not paying separately for that too. So a lot of advantages. So the idea is that we want to bring the data You get free based on the SQ that you're utilizing, or the FSQs that you're utilizing. Anything more than that, you're going to pay based on the one lake storage. And the capacity that you're utilizing to mirror your data is also included for you. You don't need to pay separately for that. So that's great. But this is in nutshell uh, the fabric is, and some of the things that you need to keep in mind. So let me also quickly show you, once you mirror the data, how that's going to look like on your fabric portal. So I'm on app.fabric.microsoft.com. I have a workspace with the name my workspace, and you can see that I have mirrored this data, right? So this is a SQL database from on-premises, and it creates two more objects, as I mentioned, the semantic model, as well as the SQL Analytics endpoint. So let's go and see if I can utilize my T-SQL commands. So you can see I have a few tables, actually one table only with the name employees over here. So I'm going to just run just basic select command here and see what response I get. So you can see that I can use the same T-SQL commands typically, which I use for my on-premises SQL database or Azure SQL. And this is the return that I got. I have employee ID, first name, last name, and information about the salary as well as hire data. And in my next video, I will show you actually how you're going to configure mirroring right from the Fabric portal. But this is what Fabric is in nutshell. At least this gives you an idea about what are the different components that got created when it comes to Fabric feature. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.